Okay, so I do apologize for the video being cut off. My phone apparently did not have enough storage to continue the video, but here we are, and we're going to continue. So we were talking about how to determine we were talking about the factors that go into determining if we need a functional analysis or an FBA for our client. So the next thing we were going to discuss is actually a visual that I have for you. So what this is something that we use in my clinic. This is an ABC checklist. I know it's kind of hard for you to see, but basically what it is we're going to put the client's name, the behavior of concern, so whatever it may be, tantrum, throwing a chair, whatever it is. We put the date on here, and then there's a list of antecedents here that you're just going to check however many boxes for what happened before the behavior. And right here is what is the behavior, and of course if there's not one on here that fits the behavior, then there's a spot to input it right down here. But in my experience, we have it down pretty good to where every behavior that occurs is going to be right here. And then lastly, you're going to have the consequence, and so that's what happens after the behavior. And then we also put the location and the setting up here. And then right down here is where we do the observation notes, and we also record the problematic behavior, whatever way that might be, frequency, duration, partial interval. Those are the typical ones that we use on a ABC data sheet. So this is pretty cool, pretty simple. It helps us determine what's happening before the behavior, what the behavior is, what happens after the behavior, what's maintaining that behavior. Helps us determine what's maintaining that behavior and what may be causing that behavior in that particular environment. All right. When should we use an FA over an FBA? So the question is, it can be tricky because you can use them together, honestly. An FA can be a component of an FBA. So if you suspect that escape is the function of a behavior, you would use a functional analysis to manipulate the environment to basically prove your theory. So we are conducting the assessment to determine what is maintaining the behavior, as I've mentioned several times, what the function is. So remember, access, attention, automatic, and escape, and how we can approach problematic behavior from an ABA standpoint, and what the next step should be for intervention implementation. I feel like an FA can be a shorter version of an FBA. Typically, when we conduct an FBA, an FA is also conducted, but you normally don't see an FA being conducted without an FBA. All right, so steps of an FBA. So BCBA will look over previous records of the client. We want to make sure that we're very precise with that and we know what has been written or what has been observed from that client. Record the data through direct observation, which is always good. That's what we do in the clinic. That's how you can literally see what the behavior is because you're observing it directly. Client assessments. So if your client's able to do an assessment, then we can definitely do that as well, where they can actually do a self-assessment. And then there's indirect observations, as we mentioned before, with the parents, with the caregivers, teachers, principals, anyone who's involved in that client's day-to-day. How long does an assessment take? So it depends. It typically takes about 45 minutes to an hour. This is for the actual assessment, though. So you also need to consider that the process may actually be like a week, because you have to go look at all the old data, do observations, then you need to get consent, then you need to conduct the actual FA or FBA. So it can take about a week, but the actual assessment is only about 45 minutes to an hour. If you're running the FBA, it's definitely critical that we get the information correct, so there's no need to rush at all. And then lastly, in conclusion, I really enjoyed getting to learn more about FAs and FBAs. I have a little bit of experience from my clinic, but certainly want to continue to grow so that I can be more competent in the area. I would really like to know how FAs and FBAs are conducted outside of a clinical setting. So I would like to know in a school setting, in a home setting. I have no experience with that. So I'm really interested to see how that is. And I'm interested to see if there's any major differences between the environments whenever you conduct an FA or an FBA in different settings. And yeah, so I hope everyone enjoyed the video, and I hope that you got to learn more about FAs and FBAs. Have a great day.